Okay, okay. Is anyone tuning in? Dude, I swear I updated that. Oh no. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, what's up?
Hello, how's it going?
Do you mind tuning into the Twitch stream and seeing how the sound is on there? I just need to know if my voice is coming through fine, and if the game is too quiet. So how is it?
You just faded for me.
What?
You just faded. I don't know if you asked a question.
Oh, I was just saying, do you mind tuning on to the Twitch stream to see if the sound mixing is alright?
Oh yeah, I'm hopping on. I just lost the network for some reason, so... I'm on my computer and my phone. Like this. Twitch Job?
Yeah. I posted the link in the host coaching thread.
Yeah, I saw it. It's just my Discord's taking forever to start up. Job 623D. Okay, you want to go ahead and start talking? Because it's usually a 10-second delay.
I'm gonna... Yeah.
I'm taking the earpiece out to hear it.
Okay, so it sounds good? Okay. I'm just gonna start then. Okay, topics to cover. Game plan overview, anti-airing, charge management, Pressure, Oki, VOD review. Okay, seems good. Also, let me know if you have any other topics that you want me to cover.
Yeah, I can hear you very cleanly.
Okay, perfect. That's awesome. Okay, so we might as well get started on the basic game plan stuff. So, this is pretty. Two things about HOS that are pretty obvious.
You want me to just watch on the Twitch channel?
But whatever works for you. I don't really mind either way. Or which way
your visual will be 10-second delayed for me. That's all. So if you ask me a question, you have to wait 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's true. But you know, it's not a huge deal.
Okay, I'm on the Twitch.
Okay. So, yeah, basic game plans. Two things about HOS that are very obvious right from the get-go. One, his movement is very fast, and his jump is super low. This is usually a good attribute, but sometimes the low jump can be a detriment in certain matchups. And then
high jump the same as everyone else's, or
yeah, his high jump is like pretty high. Or it's not like high jumping is universally like the high jump height is universal, but like you know, it's just about as high as everyone else's. The normal jump is low. The dash jump is particularly low. It's pretty much a KOF hyper hop angle. And then the other thing that's important is that his range on his ground buttons is like particularly lacking. So like, farthest is your farthest poke. That's like actually useful as a poke. 6H is a bit further, but you're pretty much never poking with this because that's stupid.
Doesn't that like miss if they're just standing or something in some instances? Hitbox on 6-8?
No. I think it like whiffs on jumping because it's like a surprisingly low hitbox. Like if I set them to jumping, never mind. It's actually kind of tall.
Sorry, I meant 5H, the one where it's like
5H.
Really high.
Yeah, it whiffs on crouching from like further ranges, but that's not really a big deal.
You never throw that out.
Yeah, you pretty much just throw. Well, actually, I can get to it later. The point is that HOS's range is bad compared to most Guilty Gear characters. Like this is probably his biggest like actual poke. 6H is his biggest button, but you'll literally never poke with this because one, it's slow, and two, it's like it's in counter hit state the whole time. So and you like lunge yourself forward, so you're just asking to get counter hit, which is very sad. So like
an overhead?
No, it's a mid.
Oh my god.
It doesn't need to be an overhead. We can explain why later. So pretty much these are your best pokes. They're pretty short. So the entire game plan is to like sort of use your movement instead of your pokes to like get in a range to make them uncomfortable. So like, actually let's switch the matchup. Like Kai is probably the best example of this. Where, like obviously you can't fight him from in this range, because he'll just like beat you every time, so you like want to make it whiff and then get in that range, where this starts to become better than every other poke in the game. Because this is, this 2S is 6 frames, so like at this range, it'll like outspeed just about everything else.
Yeah, that is really fast.
Very fast move. And this 2D is also really good, obviously. You can worm your way under... Oops. You can just worm your way under some pokes.
The 2D low profiles?
Yeah. It's like Soul 2D. It's pretty much the same thing, but it's slightly shorter, but it moves you forward. Which is better for this character anyways. So, yeah. And then, of course, your other way to get in, other than using your ground run and smart FD breaks, is just, you know, dash, jump, JH. This move pretty much carries HOS at low levels, because, like, it's just so hard to anti-air, because, like, the jump angle is so shallow. It's difficult to react to compared to other characters.
Yeah, in my 1 week playing with him, this move seems incredible.
it's like... Yeah, it's really good at low levels. It's hard to anti-air. you know, because of his low jump arc. And importantly, on counter hit, you get the ground slide for conversion. So like that's the standard ground slide counter hit conversion. It starts to fall off later when people start to anti it, but it'll never be like a bad move, you know. And you could use like your other jump options to like fake out and like force people to whiff. So like if you see them trying to 6P you can like dash jump and then like double jump to bait it. Of course, you can always get beat out by taller anti-airs like this 2H. Can backdash out. This is a little like it's less committal, but like obviously you won't gain as much ground, and you won't have a chance to punish them usually unless you like punish them like this off a super high recovery move. But you know, it's best to not always like commit with this all the time. So yeah, mixing up your movement between ground movement, dash jump, and some air dashes to adjust your spacing.
He seems reasonably fast.
Yeah, he's pretty fast. Faster than Soul, actually.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have the full screen specials to move.
Yeah. So you pretty much just have to like push forward and slug it out. Or you can charge from full screen with this, but we can talk about that later. Mostly the game plan is to push your way in most matchups. Some matchups you like sit at full screen and charge, but like again,
so if they're trying to set something up, you have the option to charge or something.
Yeah. You know, very matchups dependent. We'll talk about it later in the section about charging. Anything else I have to mention in the neutral game plan section? Other than anti.
Do you ever use this 2K?
Huh?
Do you ever use this 2K?
Mostly in pressure, but you can also use it as a quick poke. Usually 2S is better for the same purpose. Cause like HOS's
I didn't realize it was so fast.
HOS's buttons are like so short that like sometimes it's like hard to get a conversion. So like sometimes stuff will just whiff. Kai's crouching hitbox is actually really wide for some reason, so maybe be best to do it on standing. Yeah, at some ranges, like 2K2D just whiffs, which is really sad.
Yeah. Do you have an air-to-air favorite button?
Oh yeah, we'll talk about. We'll switch to anti-airs right now. Okay, so basically, HOS has like no really good ground anti-airs. Actually, that's not really true. But you won't anti-air like a standard character where you like 6P them, because this 6P is not really built to be an anti-air.
What is up with this 6P? It's super slow.
Yeah, it's so. The thing is
this a pressure thing or something? Is this like a stagger pressure?
Sort of like. Okay, I'm gonna be real with you. It's like not that good for pressure, but like it has some niche uses. Like you can do it, and then it's like a pressure reset. That's like +2. It's really bad on faultless, but on normal block it's fine. So you can pressure reset with it. Usually this is not like the way to go, but you can do it like to fake your opponent out. Like, how do I explain this? Like, it's another visual cue that you can throw at your opponent if you like just want to mess them up. Because like, the more ways you can like visually reset your pressure, like the higher chances you have of just like confusing them and like making them less able to respond.
Okay, so just like a rotation option to
pretty much
not catch on your block string.
It's really bad on FD though, so you have to be careful because getting like +4 off of this is just not worth how much you get pushed back. But this character generally has to be very careful around FD anyways. So...
Yeah, we can hear you, Chug. So we just finished going over basic buttons, so feel free to ask any questions or whatever.
I got it. Could one of you perhaps like do a screen share?
It's on Twitch.
Got it.
Yeah, I posted the channel in the HOS Discord. Or not Discord. The thing.
Alright.
Yeah. Okay, anyways,
Anti-airs.
Yeah, anti-airs. We're on anti-airs. Okay, so the main anti-air, HOS isn't really designed for like ground anti-airs because like this 6P is not an anti-air. Too slow, you know. It still has upper body invuln, but like you're not really gonna be using it to anti-air. So your main anti-airs, yeah, like chat says, it's JP mash. This button is so obscenely good. It's 3 frames, so if you mash it as fast as possible, like one strategy people have is that if they're stuck in air block string, you can like IB mash and then air throw. So if I do something like this, I don't even know if I'll be able to. Here. Okay, I buffered K, so let's see if this works. Oops. Okay. I feel like I feel like someone making a tech tutorial where like if you okay, never mind. But the point is, like if you're really on the ball, you can like IB jump-in moves and air throw it afterwards. Because the IB frame block stun reduction is really high on airborne moves, which gives you enough time to usually air throw in the middle of a string if you have an air move. But HOS's JP is so fast that if you match it as fast as possible, they can't do that. Because it's frame 3. And also, it retracts his hurt box a lot, so you can use it to avoid anti-airs. So in situations where like this gets like straight up beaten, you can actually JP and like win or trade. I'm gonna look like...
That's a big jump in destroy.
I'm gonna see if I can demonstrate this against Eddie 2H, but I probably yeah, see, it just beats it right there. But like if you do JH, you pretty much get smoked all the time. Never mind. Eddie 2H sucks.
A bad move, he's a low.
Got him.
Oi. Well, it's true. Eddie's not that good.
ATP.
Yeah, JP's broken.
Okay, so that's your scramble air move.
Yeah. You do like rising air to air. You can think of it like a melty JA where you can just hit it, and then if like it doesn't work, you can just back off or do something else. Super fast. If you manage to land it, no, you get like a really small conversion. It's not particularly high reward compared to other characters' anti-airs. Oh, stop blocking. That's kind of awkward if you have dash momentum, so usually I don't bother for the double jump. Something like that.
See damage, not bad.
It's not bad. It's not that good either, especially compared to other characters who get like crazy damage off anti-airs like Axel, but you know, it is what it is. And then JK is useful if it's something JP won't beat. Oh, like above you.
Weird move.
It's not very useful to demonstrate on HOS because his jump is so low anyways. But you could probably conceivably use this to beat stuff like, I don't know, Soul JH. If you do it early enough. I don't use this nearly enough, mostly because I'm mashing JP, but it's really good in situations where JP is just a little too low for it to work. And of course your final anti-air is air throw.
So you don't even really consider DP as an anti-air?
I actually do consider it in some cases, but usually you won't be considered. Like, your 3 main anti-airs you should consider are JP, JK, and air throw. And then if those aren't like good in that situation, then you start to consider DP. So like what's the move?
The risk reward is real bad on DP or something?
It's not that the risk reward is real. Well, I mean, it's just really committal, I think, to DP anti-air and Guilty Gear in comparison to like other games, right? Because usually your normal anti-airs are just a lot less committal. Like, especially if you have a good 6P, which HOS doesn't. But, like, what's a move I would anti-air with air throw? Actually, I'm not confident in my ability to anti-air throw Soul JH, but whatever. Like, if you whiff this, you just, like, leave. Like, it's not a big deal. But if you whiff DP, you're pretty much just stuck there. So, and if they block this, like, that's good for you, right? Since, here. You just, like, drag them down in a block string, and then you get to run your pressure. Something like that.
But yeah, like,
so usually I wouldn't DP unless I really, really had to. You can just normal hop JP over Gunflame. Yeah, it retracts your hurtbox super far. Like, look at his jumping stance and then look at his JP stance. Like, his legs just disappear.
Is this coaching?
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
This is HOS coaching.
Definitely don't mind if
about
non-HOS players, join in. It's all cool to me. The more the merrier.
Twitch is in the HOS thread. I'll put the Judge Twitch in voice text.
Okay, anyways, what was I on? Here. Oh, yeah, anti-airs. I'm actually not confident in my ability to air throw Soul JH. I'm not gonna lie, that's just like a hard move to anti-air period. What's a good example of a move I can anti-air air throw? That I would need to anti-air air throw.
You got me.
Yeah, okay. I guess...
The JS?
I mean, yeah, but the JS is not that good as jumping anyways. The anti-air throw is best for, like, spacings like this, where they're, like, right below the ground, where, like, Rising JP, like, it still takes a bit of time to start up. So air throw is best when they're, like, right in your face. Oops. Like, super low to the ground. You can even, like, air throw, like, fake meaties if you're really good at the game, which I'm not. But, yeah, air throwing is kind of hard at the start, so, like, relying on JP and JK are fine. But there's some situations where you just have to air throw, because it's too low for JP to work. Sorry if this is a kind of bad demonstration of, like, when to air throw, but...
Makes sense to what the choices are. So basically, when people are trying to re-jump their pressure or something, once you catch onto it,
yeah. It's also not too bad to snag air dashes with, like, you jump and you hold back and you air throw. Okay, so, like, here's an example of a move that I really just would not fuck with using a jump bait. Like, Justice JH, right? In this situation, then I would DP, because, like, how am I gonna air this on reaction?
Just too big.
Yeah. So, like, if you're halfway through the jump arc, then you can try, like, deep through it. And Gunblaze is also good for this stuff, too, where stuff is, like, super vertical. I think another good example is, like, Baiken. Because she has just got this, like, huge-ass, like, jump H, which is super annoying to anti-air. So you can just Gunblaze under it. You can try DP to it. DP through it, too, but... Gunblaze is a really good option in general. Also against Mei. I think those are, like, the three matchups where I would use DP or Gunblaze the most. Just any case where you would have, like, some huge vertical move that's just too hard to anti-air normally.
Yeah, I was playing Doug Duo last night and he kept coming down on top of me.
Yeah, like, this move is also super annoying. To anti-air. If you're not ready for it. Like, if I see her air dashing, it's probably already too late. I have to be, like, really preemptive. You could probably, like, also IB air for this. Never mind. That might be too tall, actually. Or too hot, or too low, my bad. Yeah, you have to get pretty high before you can IV air throw it. So DP's not bad, I say, as she blocks it. Gunblaze, predictive Gunblaze is honestly, I think, pretty good in this matchup because the reward you get is so high. And like, if you whiff,
You just leave.
yeah, you're just back in the scramble zone.
Yeah, Gunblaze is a funny move on him. Just get out of there.
Especially if like May's doing like stupid shit like swing the miss around. You just leave. You don't want any of that. Especially true if she's like flying way above your head. Okay, that's like too preempting, right? I already knew it was coming because it's recorded. Slash back for the funny Twitch clip. Look. That's a little too irresponsible to be teaching new HOS players. That's like walking into like a daycare and like giving kids some like gambling chips and be like, "Go, my children."
Hey, that's what Pokemon did to me as a kid.
That's true.
Incorrigible. This is why you gamble on wake up mash throw every time. Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably ask a question about Odor Soul if I have any.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I have for anti-iris. Those are your main options. Air throw. Oh yeah, one thing I should note is that since air throw is on H input, you can OS it with pretty much any other button. So you can OS it with JP, JK. If your timing's good. Apparently mine's not. Yeah. So like OSing with JK is not a horrible option. Worth noting though that you can't OS it by hitting back, because FD takes priority over throws. So you have to OS it with forward. Not a huge deal.
Hello.
Hello, who is this? I don't recognize this voice.
It's Derp.
Hi Derp.
I think I played you a couple days ago.
Yeah, you did.
I just got wrecked by EGP Tekken.
Bike and Eddie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can find Judge's Twitch in the voice text if you want to hop on.
Please hop on. Support the stream. Follow me.
Wow.
give me that sick cash money clout.
Wow. I wanted to play games, not watch games.
And we can play if we like run through this fast enough. Okay.
Are you gonna use supers for anti-air at all, or is that all?
This super is fucking trash at level 1. Don't use it. Maybe it's okay at level 2. I would not use it though. I would not use it for anti-air. Like I think super's best use, like both of them, are as like fringe combo tools. So
cash out meter or something.
Yeah, because let me make them not block. This super gives you a wall bounce at level 2, so you can continue combo. At level 1 is fucking trash. Just never use this. It's awful. Don't use it. At level 3... Yeah, I know. Like, I never get into the point where I use it at level 3, but... I feel like you...
It does 200 damage, that's pretty good.
Yeah. It is, but...
You're never at level 3 though.
Yeah, I know. If you're at level 3 and 50 meter, I feel like you usually have better things to do. This super, if I could, is actually really good at level 2. Again, it fucking sucks at level 1. Never use it at level 1. But this super is really good in certain matchups where you just want to like break projectile zoning. So like against Justice, if you like charge to level 2, and she's like, just fucking throw nukes at you.
As she will do.
Yeah. You just like... Oh. I was a little too... Oh, it's because I didn't charge. This is frame 3, and it will pretty much just chew through all projectiles. So it's a good anti-zoning option if you're at like the mid-range. But you have to make sure you're level 2, otherwise you just get the shitty version that I got the first time I tried it.
Yeah, I just asked as like a nice anti-air reversal for if you react too slow, but you have meter.
Theoretically, you could use level 2 as an anti-air. I've never like thought of doing that before, but you probably could. Would I bet on it? Probably not, but hey. I mean, if you try it and it feels okay, then sure, but I think it's like... It's too, like, resource dependent for me to, like, go for, you know what I mean? Like, I would rather just go for a consistent option. And then finally, level 3... That OTD relaunches, so it's good for certain combos. It's slower than level 2 though, so I wouldn't use it to zone break. Oops.
It's slower?
Yeah, it's slower.
Does it have invulnerability?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, I should have just stayed on the same matchup if we're talking about charging. Okay, so... There are certain matchups where you can just get away with, like, charging the whole time. Because they just can't do shit. Like, against Justice, like, what is she gonna do if you just sit here and charge full screen? And she could try to do this to punish you, but if you watch... Oops, I did too early. So if she tries to do this, you can actually charge burst it on reaction. Like, you see the super flash and you just charge burst it, and she can't do shit.
So you can hit D off of your 214D?
It's H, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
She can also try Superior to punish you, but you can also react to this. It's a bit harder.
So the H has a vulnerability?
Yeah. So in this matchup, you can just pretty much charge as much as you like. Potemkin is sort of the same, but it's a little harder, because, like, if you, like, reaction burst on response to slide head, he can do 6k and fake you out, and then, like, close the distance. So it's a bit more risky in that matchup. But you can, like, still try it. I think a lot of newer players misuse charging in neutral. Cause like they'll try to a lot to, or at least from what I've seen, they'll try to like enter into mind games where they like do this, and then like the enemy wants to approach them right because they don't want to give them free charge, and then they charge burst. I think this is really stupid because one, like if I'm right here, right, I just give up so much ground by allowing my opponent to like close the distance here. Really bad. And second of all, if you like attack from outside the charge burst range, it just gets really awkward. So I would like charge in like short bursts during downtime, or like as a way to induce your opponent to attack. So if like Kai shoots stun edge, if he's just like shooting stun edge from full screen, I just charge a little and try to induce him to move forward. Because if I'm the one having to move forward all the time, then it's just kind of really uncomfortable because I have to deal with like far S. But if you can get him to try to run at you, then you can like induce some sort of RPS where you like jump or like counter poke, or like force him to whiff and go in.
That makes sense.
So yeah, just keep it short.
20% bite there every once in a while.
A what?
That's too short. You get a little 20% bite every once in a while.
I wouldn't aim for like a specific amount. I would just like make sure to look at the screen and like react accordingly. Don't aim for like there are like specific charge amounts that you can aim for. Like right here is good because then you get to do recharge combos. So like 40% of level 2 is like about where you get to do this sort of combo, and then like if you're a little... Actually, this combo doesn't really work on Kai because he's too short. Or his hitbox is too flat. But if you have like a tiny bit of level 2, you can also do this. And that's off like a 2D starter as opposed to just like anything into BHB2. But like these are good benchmarks that you would want to have level 2 at. But other than that, I wouldn't like aim for a specific meter amount when you're like charging. I would just like do it either to punish the opponent's laziness or to induce them to like come at me. The charge isn't the most important thing, because you can just get charged by like action charging or like doing ACFRC. So
Right, that's like the best way.
So inducing them to make bad decisions is the more important part of charging in neutral. And if they just hand you the level 2 for free, then that's alright as well. Level 3 is funny because you can do like DP, and like this is -3 on block. They can punish it really easily if they know how to like shit. Hold on.
The memory setting.
Yeah. If you did 2H there, it would have reached. But the point is, there's a really big gap in between the third hit and the last hit.
Okay.
But if they block the drop kick, then it's safe. Unless, you know, it's Soul with the 3-frame 5K, but he's a cheater character. So like...
That's not a beautiful use for a 3 meter, though. You finally got up there and you just gonna spend it on a...
yeah, just DP. I mean, it can work, because, like, if your opponent's being too aggressive, because you get a good reward on hit. But, you know, it's kind of gambling. I used to do it a lot against Justice, and it worked against bad Justices. But, you know, it's kind of risky. But it is a thing you can do. Mostly level 3 is the most... level 2 is the most comfortable level. Since you can whip punish with this, and then or convert into BHB2 in the corner. Can even do level 2 Gunblaze if you want to use it to anti-air for some reason. Like, if there's just like some problematic character to anti-air like way up in the sky, and you're like, I don't want to deal with this, level 2 Gunblaze. But for the most part, you're going to get your charge off of... oops, not that. Action charge. Oh yeah, another thing I should mention is that like a lot of new players do like action charge DP because, you know, new players are bad at punishing this. But this is like really horrible because like the idea is there's like a mix-up in timing between if you AC or if you just do nothing. But as you can see, they can just like hit you out of the air and like nullify the mix-up entirely. You can try to like ACFRC to make it a bit safer. If I can actually hit the ACFRC timing. Yeah, there we go. But it's still not perfectly safe because you still have to wait for the part of the action charge before you can FRC. So this is generally a bad gimmick. You can get away with it against newer players. You won't get away with it otherwise.
Well, they blocked DP, though. Won't you just eat a combo anyway?
What?
You're action charging after a block DP. Won't you eat a combo anyway? Or you're saying
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
on hit?
No, on hit it's fine. But if you action charge, the action charge is in counter hit state. So you might eat an even worse combo if they're like, oh, haha, you're gonna action charge.
Okay.
You can just like DPRC. It's kind of a bad DPRC because you end up all the way over there. And you have no air options, but you can at least try to FT on your way down. It's a bad gimmick. It'll work against new players. That's pretty much the extent of it. Okay, charge utility charging.
Well, what other action charges are good?
Like level 2 rocket gives you a long enough knockdown where you can action charge and like still try to do Oki. and then you can meaty. And of course, this
Are you
is
in
good.
general only using it on hit?
Yeah. Because otherwise this is like super minus if you just do it. You can like AC FRC this to make it less bad. It's actually plus if you get the AC FRC. So you can try to reset pressure. But generally this is the best AC FRC for resetting pressure. This is like +7. What?
With
Sorry,
his
Emma.
gunflame, it's not. You can't take action charge in neutral. It's not safe.
This is really embarrassing. This is supposed to be like +7, but I'm fucking up.
Now block headbuster.
Wait, am I doing something fucking wrong?
He is punishing him.
God. Okay, you're just
What if you space block headbuster? Is it safe then?
it's +7 if you ACFRC perfectly. But my timing must be rusty. Yeah, you're just gonna have to take my word on it. That's +7. If you just do block headbuster level 1 regularly, it's like -2. So you can like do this, and then like it's uncomfortable for them to mash out because you can just clip them with 2S or something. Okay, there we go. Actual good timing. I feel like someone making those Tekken videos where like they tell you can sidestep a move and they miss the sidestep like 10 times. And just like, damn.
So just, I'm a little tiny bit confused. Just to clarify, you generally are always going to get punished if you action charge. So you have to,
yeah, like if you action charge up close, it's pretty bad.
Okay.
There are some people who like do this and action charge in neutral, and this is actually a fine way to build meter if your opponent's just kind of dicking around.
Oh, you can action charge off a whip. I didn't know that. Alright.
Yeah, and you can also ACFRC the action charge on whiff to make it safe. But if you do it close up, you're pretty much just asking to get punished unless it's something super plus like that.
How did you build to level 3 there?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
something about HOS I don't understand.
What? How did I build to level 3?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because don't you use up all your charge when you
So,
do another one?
When you input a special move while holding D, like you see how oops, I fucked it up. Yeah, you see the P and D. That charge keeps. So you do the level 1 version of the move instead.
Oh. Okay. Cool. Did not know that.
For Gunblaze, it's a little harder because you can't. If you input 214 SD, you get charge instead. So you have to be holding D ahead of time. Or you can card cancel like 2D into Gunblaze. I can't do it because I'm bad. I don't think it's like super useful anyways, unless you really need that Gunblaze anti-air.
Want to use 2. I mean, you want to use 2 anyway, right? Because 1 has such a kind of tight range. Level 1.
Sometimes. But like, if you wanted to Gunblaze anti-air and then like convert like with Dust Loop into BRP2, then you might want to use level 1. It would be like slightly optimal there. But you can just like whiff a move and then put D behind it and then do it. Like that. Or you can like FD and then do it.
Can you use action charge off Bandit Revolver at all?
Yeah. So gotta stop thinking that. Like, the Oki is kind of bad, but you can do it. But you can ACFRC to get good Oki and charge. If you do it off this, though, it's just horrible. Even if you ACFRC, it's just kind of bad. So, level 2.
Level 1 is no good.
Huh? Hold on, I should turn
Never use level 1, basically, for Bandit Revolver.
never ACFRC off Bandit Revolver 1. 2 is okay, on hit. On block,
The
though,
FRC point is just you hit D and then you immediately FRC.
it's like
looks really
13
bad.
frames after the D.
Okay. I'm trying to see.
Although the window is really wide. It's 5 frames, which is a pretty wide FRC. But just know that if you FRC in the later frames, you're going to get like slightly less frame advantage.
Training mode have frame data?
No, unfortunately no. You're just going to have to go to Dustlick for that. And then do some math yourself to calculate, you know, like, level-based hit stun, block stun, that sort of stuff. Not too bad once you get used to it, I think. Okay, and then the other use for charging is charge canceling and pressure. Oops. So you can make yourself plus on a lot of moves. Most notably 5H and 2D. Those become plus if you charge cancel. So yeah, that 2K is like 5 frames. 2D charge cancel is plus 3, so it barely beats out Soul 5K.
So, if you're doing the charge cancel correctly, will you see anything?
You'll see him like briefly do the charge stance.
But you shouldn't see any flames, though.
Yeah, unless you like level up with the tiny amount of charge that you get.
So that makes a lot of negative stuff safe, is what you're saying.
Yeah. This becomes plus 3. This becomes plus 5. All your like this becomes even. This becomes even. This becomes even. And then you don't charge cancel your PRK moves unless you really want to be deceptive. Because this is plus on its own, and then these two are even. This is also even. And you just become more minus when you charge cancel that.
Okay. So are you doing this just any poke, you'll put a charge cancel behind it?
Not any poke, just like the higher level ones for when you want to be plus. Or even.
Can you still, if it hits, can you still act that? Pick up the combo?
Can you still what?
Can you still act out of your charge cancel input?
Yeah, sometimes. You usually won't get a combo because it won't be like that plus, it's only like minorly plus. But if you get a counter hit or a 2D, then you can combo off of it. I'm not sure if this works on Soul, because he's kind of, his hurt box is kind of janky, but we'll see if it works. Yeah, there we go. So you can get a combo like that. It's kind of a tight link, but it's not too bad. Something like that. And then 5H, I don't know. You don't get anything off of this, I think? Never mind. That has to be pretty close though, so I wouldn't count on getting conversion like that. But it's easy enough on counter hit. Something like that.
So this is a poke tool, kind of.
I wouldn't really say it's a poke tool. It's best at close range to keep yourself in.
Oh, it's pressure reset then? Like
Yeah, pretty
on a
much.
heavy body movement. Okay.
Yeah, you just like you do a string, 2D, and now you're plus. And you can threaten with 2S, or you can go in with 5K. Another important thing is that 5K is 3 frames, so it'll beat almost everything, even if you're even. So you can do stuff like this. Or like 5K, 5K, since it's even. And this is like a real frame trap string on anyone not named Soul.
Yo, it's exactly Bison's 3-framer also. It's a little neat.
Threatening from 2S range is pretty good since most pokes won't beat this at 6 frames at this range. And then 5P is like, what, +3? So you can do this and reset. There are a lot of ways to reset pressure. I guess we can transition this into, yeah, pressure basics. Wow, how convenient. I structured this more nicely than I actually anticipated, but I flubbed execution.
Nice.
Well, that's fine. We can live with this.
This is a nice transition, but can I ask one sort of like zany question?
Yeah, go for it.
There's a super, I think it's, I don't even know what it's called. It's got like a weird name, like Dragon Install Sakai or something.
Oh, yeah,
Is there any use for that?
It will instant kill below a certain point, so like, it's optimal if you have the resources for it. So like, you can kill even off like prorated starters if the price is right. Oops.
So it's a round ender if you're like fully stacked or something.
Yeah. You won't be seeing it that much, just because, like, you know, how often do you have a 100 meter and level 30? But it's like XR Gold IK, where if it will work, it's optimal. Just know that they have to be in like a certain health range for it to activate the instant kill part of the move. So at a certain point, it just...
learn this. I've decided not to learn this.
Yeah, so like there it didn't kill. It didn't get the insta kill part.
So they really have to be almost all the way down.
Yeah.
He has no IK, so I thought maybe this would be the like makeup for it, but
It's just kind of cool if you can land it, and then if you can't, it's like whatever. The no IK part is actually somewhat useful because you can slash back with the IK macro. Not that useful, but I think it's... Oh yeah, you can also OS air throw with this. The IK macro. This is pretty much a HOS only tech.
Is there any advantage to OSing with the IK macro?
You'll get the OS every time instead of like accidentally inputting J sometimes because you inputted too slow. That's about it. Also, this game doesn't have a slashback macro, so it's kind of nice to have a one-button slashback. But it's not that useful. Just a neat tidbit you get from having no actual IK.
Interesting.
Dizzy's the same way too. She has her IK is even worse. It's not like the most obtuse input known to man.
Yeah, it's a really hard input.
Yeah, okay, pressure stuff. Right. Okay, so the basic goal of the character is to open people up with strike throw. Once you get to level 2, you can also, like, BRP as an overhead, but let's focus on the strike throw first. You can establish plus frames very easily, just by, like, doing anything or charge canceling, or just, like, doing low level normal. Even if you're, like I said earlier, even if you're even, you can still, like, threaten with 5k. And then, like, if they get hit by this, it's like, oh, it's a 5k, it's not that bad. But, like, you can make it count. That's too low. Like, even if you're at level 1, 0, whatever, here, let me... You can BHB loop, and that's like probably max reward if you're level 1. It looks kind of sad, which it is, but you can ACRC in the middle to build meter. And then get yourself to level 2. And then you can actually threaten some decent damage. The damage looks bad, but that's just because guts, you know, that's how it is.
Yeah, you're at the end here.
Where is the life water? Yeah, at level 1, it's really not that threatening, but once you get to level 2, then you can pile on the pressure. And doing this combo refills you to level 2 as well. It's a really good combo. But for something simpler, you can just go for a dust loop. Something like that. Yeah. Okay, what was
Juggling them with the air dust hit.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, the basic idea is make yourself plus, threaten a frame trap, or a throw. And off the throw, you can also go for dust loop.
You can get a dust loop off throw.
Yeah. And then usually off the you can try to do double dust loop, but it's not worth it off a throw. It doesn't do that much more damage. And it's like really hard for what it's worth. So usually you try to tech trap off of that. So if they forward tech, you super jump and throw it. If they back tech, you normal jump and throw it. Tech trapping isn't reliable, of course, because they can always adjust the direction of their tech and the timing of the tech to throw you off. So you can also do something like this. I don't see people go for it too much, because the knockdown isn't super great. Actually, never mind. It's perfectly fine. I don't know why more people don't go for it actually though. At level 1. So yeah, that's the safe option, and the tech trap is
So 6H off the throw.
Yeah, 6H off the throw.
So why would you go for that instead of the dust loop? It seems like you left damage on the table.
Yeah. It's just so you get a guaranteed knockdown. Off of the dust loop, you can't get a guaranteed knockdown. You have to either try for a tech trap or just let them reset to neutral, which is not super great. Of course,
because our game plan is guerrilla, you don't want to let them happen.
Yeah. So it's just it's like a hedging your bet sort of option if you're not confident on the tech trap. And then once you're level 2, you can start to get some sauce. The basic thing you can do is just knock down at level 2 with this, recharge, and then you've got most of your meter back. But the saucy thing you can do is, maybe this doesn't work on Soul. Yeah, it doesn't work on Soul.
Skinny.
Yeah, no legs having motherfucker. Oops, that's not Order Soul. I don't know if this works on Order Soul either, actually. Let's just pick a character it will work on. Does this not work on Eddie either? Okay, never mind.
I'm not going to go for whatever this is. Although I guess R does have a lot of character-specific combos.
Yeah. It's really just Soul and Kai that will fuck with your shit for medium weights. And Johnny. Johnny's horrible Me personally, I would like never play Johnny Boss, but like whatever. Some people do. Players a lot better than me do it and win. Okay, this is not consistent already. Yeah, that's the pains of playing plus R.
Yeah. The old ways.
I mean, the simple way is just you get Bandit Revolver 2 knockdown, and you're like, okay, that's fine by me. Once again, the character really becomes a lot more threatening at level 2 since you can threaten looping knockdowns as long as you have a high enough level. And of course, you can always replenish your level by doing this and being +7. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh yeah, that's right. Resetting with jump cancels. So like, even though like you get a lot of opportunities for resets by doing this, you'll like notice that like often like your strings will put some distance between you if you do them for long enough. So you have to also try to like close the distance by resetting with jump cancels, which HOS is really good at since his jump is so low. It's like sort of hard to react to if they're also looking for this, which sort of plays into the thing I was saying earlier about like how like this is just another way to like throw a different signal at your opponent that they have to like deal with.
It just looks different from the
Yeah. You're trying to like keep them on their toes as much as possible because they can like react to like one or two things, but they can't react to everything. So like if they're expecting like a frame trap or a reset off this, you can like jump instead, reset pressure with JH, tick throw with JP, or do a fuzzy off JS. Sorry, I'm bad at fuzzies. JT actually might be the easier fuzzy option here, since it's got, or since the hit stop is so long.
So he's being forced to stand by the air hit.
Yeah.
The string through there.
JS also works. It's a little harder, and I don't think the reward is as good on hit, but I'm not sure. I think it's character specific, which again, one of the annoyances of playing plus R. Fuzzies are really good, but the easiest thing to do is just reset with JH and like get another turn, or tick throw a JP.
They block JH. Is that enough time for you to run in?
Depends on the spacing. If they block it super deep, you'll pretty much always have time. If they block it high, then you've got a little less. You can also mix up the timing to make it harder for them to respond. Because, like, obviously the earlier you do JH, the less time they have to respond to it. But if you do deep JH, you get more reward. And if you mix up the two, you can make it harder for them to, like, decide whether to try to respond. Because if you do deep JH all the time, then they'll consistently be able to respond earlier. But if you mix it up between, like, shallow and deep, then they actually have to think if they want to, like, gamble that's a deep JH. And another thing you can do is, if they try to respond, you can JP instead. And sometimes it'll, like, either dodge their counterattack or just beat it outright. Another important thing is you can also, like, reset off air dash. Especially off, like, far slash or 5H at further ranges. 5H is especially good for this because it's, like, +5, so you can still threaten, like, 2S at most ranges. So yeah, keep them on their toes with a lot of pressure resets. And make sure to keep them honest by checking them with lows, especially like 2k. This is good because it's even, so you can still threaten 5k even if they block it. You can even frame chat with 2D if you like are really good and like know to the timing for canceling into the active frames instead of during hit stop. But this is kind of tricky, so I don't really go for it. 5k is usually reliable enough. Keep them on their toes. Check them with lows to stop them from jumping out. Or check their jump out with 5H. And occasionally Bandit Revolver, because I know it'll like hop over low counter pokes, and if you counter hit, you get a combo. One thing to note is that if you're using Bandit Revolver to reset and it connects, or even if it doesn't connect, right, they have a chance to throw you because you're only +1 if it connects. So you have to kind of play a weird 50-50 where you like jump to avoid the throw, or like mash to beat the mash. Or you can DP if you you know, like gambling like that. A lot of people will try to mash throw and will fall for the jump in. So it's not too bad. Like even good players will just fall for this. So it's not horrible every once in a while, but obviously you can't do it all the time because you're just handing them turns for free. Especially if they IB, then they have a chance to like try to mash out. Okay, now we have to talk about FDing, because inevitably people will FD you, and this will make your life hard. Any questions so far? I hope I'm keeping this understandable.
Yeah, it makes sense to me so far.
Okay. FD will make your life hard just because, you know, HOS is like short and stubby, and he wants to be like in your face all of the time. And if you get pushed out too far, you have to do like uncomfortable things like resetting from far distances. And the more you have to run up, the less comfortable it is because they have more time to like try to counterattack. But the important thing is, if they're FDing, they can't jump. FDing locks them out of jump. So no matter how I hit up... Oh, I can't jump. I only was able to jump there because I let go of FD by hitting down on accident. But you can't jump out of FD. Again, I hit down on accident there. So if they FD, like a common tactic is to like FD the first thing on wake up, so like you immediately get put in a bad situation. So the thing I like to do is like slide in with FD and throw. Oops. Sometimes you'll get weird misinputs on the way. Technically it's optimal to like down back, because they can like try to mash on wake up with a low. But like the easier way to do it is just like just back and forward, because then there's less chance of getting weird misinputs. Like sometimes, like if I try for this, I'll like accidentally get gunless because I like slopped my input. Yeah. I mean, there I was like trying to slop to demonstrate, but you get the idea.
The F is you're using the FD as a break or a signal for that?
It's more the former, because you can't, so you like, the thing is, you have to be wary of like wake up throw, right? So if you like just try to walk up and throw, people are pretty much usually gonna like wake up throw you. So what you do instead is you like hang out slightly outside of throw range, and then you dash in, break with the FD, and then throw them. So notice like when you dash and then FD, you sort of like slide a little. So you use this slide to close the distance after you FD, and then you throw them. Because you can't like FD, or you can't throw people while you're running. So you either have to like input some back, enter the skid motion, and then throw them, or you just FD and you slide in and throw them. This is really good because like when you FD slide, like how do I describe this? it makes it a lot more ambiguous for whether you're going for a throw, right? Because you're hanging outside the throw range, and it reduces the time they have to try to like counterattack through you. Because if you just like walk in, that's like really blatantly obvious. You can try to bait with 6K, but I'll cover that later in Oki. But FD slide throw, if I don't fuck it up. Like when you slide in, it gives them a lot less time for them to try to counter with a throw. I hope this makes sense. I feel like I'm doing a bad job of explaining this part.
No, yeah, it makes sense. It's sort of like you're creating it so you only touch right at that moment.
Yeah, pretty much.
On the slide.
This tech is honestly kind of busted. More people should do it. I stole it off of like a 10-year-old thread. It's busted. It's so good.
I was trying to play around with wake-up throws this week, and I kept getting thrown, so...
yeah.
I need something like this.
It's also good for stuff like baiting DP, so if you like do a thing, and you're like, I don't know if he's going to try to like DP out of this pressure, you like slide an FD. And like, the fact that you like slide just a little after you've FD'd makes it look like you're going in so you can bait DPs or reversals or dead angles. Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, if they just mash, then you're a little sad because you could have like frame trapped or gotten over the mash by like jumping or something. But it's no big deal. Because even if they do mash and they like put you in a block string, you've still got all this space behind you in the corner. So you can like still try to like fight back, wage a war, or even like give up space and then like continue to try to pressure them. So yeah, FD slide, really good, abuse it a lot, including in neutral as well. So like if you move in and you know there's a poke that's gonna be thrown at you at like some range, you like stop just short. And after you slide in as the poke ends. Instead of like stopping just short. You can stop just short by like FDing and like walking back very briefly. But FD slide is another way to get it. Just tap FD and like slide through the poke. Or not like through the poke, but you slide in as the poke ends. If that makes any sense. Yeah, FD is super good tool. Abuse it a lot for better movement. While we're on the top,
macro.
What?
Can I use the IK macro for this?
No, you can't, because it gives you flashback instead. You can use the Roman cancel macro for this though. Because Roman cancel only like does something like on hit, block, or if you FRC or something. So it's completely safe to do this. Unlike an XR or a Strive where you would get like YRC or like BRC. And you'll have like the Roman cancel macro maps anyways to do ACFRC. So really there's no harm in using the Roman cancel macro for this sort of stuff.
Cool, that makes my life easier.
Mm-hmm. You can also map the PK macro, but this isn't as useful, I think. I feel like I'm forgetting something now. Pressure. We talked about 2F4D. We talked about FD, break, slide, throw. And we did talk about ACFRC to maintain pressure. We talked about beating faultless defense. We talked about using lows to check the jump out. We talked about BRP.
Can you use Gunblaze as a mix-up tool?
Yes. Yes, not during pressure, but on Oki you can. Oh yeah, one more tool I forgot. Rocket. Rocket's really good. You establish this sort of like awkward spacing where you have to like sort of RPS, but it is +3. So you can try to like RPS at the right ranges. Or you can try this. I do this more often than I should, but the reward on counter hit is insane. And up close, it's really good because it puts you super close if you start from like right next to them. And then you can try to like tick throw with it.
Push back on it at all.
Or you can just like mash 5k. Hit 2S. All the good stuff. And you can also
what's stopping you from using that as your get back in move all the time?
Just the fact that like if you use it carelessly, you get put at these really awkward ranges after you block it, right? Like Forest just barely reaches, but like there are even some ranges like this one where Forest will just straight up win. This is really awkward to try to fight around. Because you did dash jump, and then like the spacing is awkward for dash jumping, because you might just like whiff behind your opponent, and you're like forced to like try JS. Less of a problem in the corner, obviously, where you just dash jump. But you're pretty much just forced to RPS here, and the opponent can always try to do something safe, like super jump back and dashing out. Very awkward. You have to commit a lot if you want to like catch that sort of safe option. Or you can just chase them as their air dash as they try to leave. Like air throw them back into the corner or something. But it's just very awkward. So you kind of want to use it sparingly, because otherwise the opponent will get too used to RPSing here and just make you sad. But, you know, use sparingly, it's a good tool. +3, never too bad. And then Fafnir. I should have talked about Fafnir. This move is crazy, but it's also sometimes very sad. It's a very specific kind of move, right? So it's
his force break?
Yeah, it's his one force break. So frame 10 for this massive fucking move. It hits low too, so they have to block it low, and it can like catch bad jump out attempts. And it launches high enough that you usually get a combo if you're not too far. So like at the furthest range, it's really awkward to get a combo, but if you're like a little closer, you get that. And that's good damage. And on counter hit, they just explode and die a horrible miserable death. You have to pick up. There we go, that's good. Your conversions may vary based on the spacing. There we go. That's like ideally what you want. But the thing is, this move is also low and vulnerable, so just straight over go over low pokes like I don't know 2S's, 2Ds. But like he sticks out his upper body hurt box really high, so it'll pretty much lose to everything that like hits higher than the waist if it doesn't outspeed them. So
like an anti-mace slide tool?
Yeah, and it'll blow it up for counter hit huge damage. Also good against people like trying to like 2P or 2S to try to like bar your pressure.
Does it beat stun edge?
No, you just get counter hit and you're sad. Because stun edge like goes above your waist, right? You can like 2D low profile under stun edge. I mean, it's the same as Soul 2D. Very slow forward movement tool.
Oh, sorry, I meant Stun Dipper.
Oh, Stun Dipper. Yeah, you can use it to beat Stun Dipper.
Alright.
It pretty much just smokes it every time. Makes Kai very sad.
Do you tend to try to use this move once you have the meter for it?
If I'm feeling greedy, because the counter hit reward is just too good to pass up. Like, okay, this is like kind of a bad habit, but it works a lot against EGP, so I do it a lot. Or I do Rocket, and then I do Fafnir immediately, and it beats out him trying to match Fares. It'll frame, like after Rocket, it frame traps like 8 frame or slower moves. So like if people are trying to mash after Rocket, you just slam this and they die. And even if it trades, as long as they get a counter hit, you can still like get a pickup. You won't usually get dust loop, but you can like dash up and get a conversion. Like that. Not as much damage, but it's still good. Okay. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to cover for pressure, so now we can talk about Oki.
Cool.
Oh, wait. There's one more thing that I should have talked about, which is high-level, like, meter spending. So, like, obviously this is a huge meme, because it's, like, plus 37. Like, on one hand, it's a free pressure reset, but on the other hand, it's like, you had to give up all your bar to do it. The one thing I think is, like, good off of this is, like, trying to go for a fuzzy. Because it's possible, but really hard to interrupt that if you want to go for a fuzzy there. So you can, like, try to force a 50.
You're trying to do a jump high-low while it's going off.
Yeah. So either JD2D or, like, JD fuzzy. Level 2 is also good for pressure resetting if you feel like you can spend the meter, like, plus 14, if you just do it. It's plus like 20 something with your ATMs. So you can like re-earn a turn. Pretty much free pressure reset. Oh, I forgot to mention 2H. This is your overhead. It's even on block. On hit, it's like very slightly more plus. It can create some awkward situations where people try to like jump or scramble out. But usually, like,
this looks just like 6H, right?
No, this is 6H.
Don't step forward.
It doesn't look that similar, I think.
They look the same to me.
Well, maybe if they look the same to your opponents, you can abuse that fact.
Alright, interesting.
Yeah, so it's safe. And honestly, it might as well be plus, because you can match with 5k, and usually your opponents can't. On counter hit, it gives a good confirm. It's pretty much the same launch as Fafnir, but it's like slightly worse. Like, obviously not as much damage, because, you know, it isn't coming off like the 70 damage initial hit. But it's still good damage regardless. You can use this to crush people who are trying to, like, bar your pressure with, like, 2p or 2k. Because, like, it does have a little hopping animation. So it can go over some lows. Bam.
Can I ask in that jungle combo why you're not, like, ending with a special in the air? Just tech time's over?
Oh, yeah. Just because, JD... Oops. Like, you can do it. HOS not having any legs is kind of awkward. Because JD gives like this weird knockback where even if they try to tech forward, instead of like getting an actual forward tech out of the corner, forward. They get this.
You're telling me it's another tech trap.
Yeah. They get this weird like upwards tech because they've got all this backwards momentum from getting hit by the JH. Meanwhile, if you like end in a special here, then they actually get to tech out of the corner, which is not good for you. So unless it will like kill, or you have like Bandit Revolver level 2 for the knockdown, you should pretty much never end with a special after this jungle.
Yeah, they're out.
Then you can try a tech trap. Oops. Like that. Best to just keep them in the corner and try to run your game. I think there's something else I was supposed to talk about.
Okay.
Yeah. Before that, you can also, like, RC2H for a conversion. Oh, that's pretty simple. Okay, let's do it. So Gunblaze for a mix-up, if you get a knockdown with 2D at about this range, you can Gunblaze, and then Gunblaze again. And then that sets up a cross-up mix-up. You can also do 2H for a high, or 2D for a low. If you manage to land the 2D, HOS might be too heavy for this. Oh, never mind. You can get a conversion off the 2D. Other things you can do, this setup is really versatile, you can go for a lot of stuff. So you can go for Rocket as well. This loses to Wake Up Throw, but it's pretty much a perfect throw setup. Oops. It's better to play.
You're so close, you're in throw range, huh?
Yeah. And you're +3, so you can, try to like hit some buttons to stuff their anti-throw attempt. And then if they like try to throw your Wake Up, you can just do 6K. 6K is really good as a anti-throw option. Because you can threaten them just by running in their face. You can get really ballsy if you know that they're scared of 6K. And on counter hit, it gives you this stagger. It's a lot better if you have dash momentum, because then the dash momentum carries over into the next special, so you can BHB and get a conversion that way. Or you can like charge cancel it and combo into Fafnir. If I can fucking do my single jump IDs.
Nice.
No, I can't. Okay. Yeah. The stagger's really good. On block, you can either charge cancel it. It puts you at a sort of awkward distance. So I'm not as huge of a fan. You can also special cancel it. I like special canceling it like as you're moving forward. Like there's a very specific timing where like if you cancel it right away, you won't get any of the forward momentum and you get put at this awkward range. But like if you cancel it at yeah, there we go. Like that's exactly the right time where you get just enough forward momentum to like stay right in the face. But it's kind of finicky. So it's okay if you can't do it perfectly. And then the easy thing to do is just 2D. And that's +3, but admittedly that range is still sort of awkward. As you can see, the JH will just whiff. Oh, I forgot to mention that JS can cross up.
What?
Yeah. A bit of a silly little mix-up tool, if you feel like it.
Gotta hit super deep though.
Yeah. If they're crouching. 6K, yeah. Great meaty. But it does put you at uncomfortable ranges, so I wouldn't use it all the time. You can use it if you want to like hedge your bets against Wake Up Throw. Or you can use it if you want to like hard call out Wake Up Throw. But if you want to hedge your bets against Wake Up Throw, I just stand outside of throw range. Instead of like committing to 6K. Because if they block it, it's like kind of bad. Okay, I shouldn't say it's bad, but it's like it's not as good as if you just like beat it outside their range. And then like put yourself at a nice spacing. Other
So, as someone who plays a lot, are you going to... So you're saying you wouldn't open with 6K because they'll probably block first, right? Layer
yeah,
one.
I would only do it if I would do it like off a run, because this might entice someone to like Wake Up Throw. Or I would just like meaty from outside throw range. I would also do meaty 2H because this also beats throws, but it's harder to time because it's not throw involved immediately. It's only throw involved for like 7 frames. Maybe like it's like 7 frames before active, and then I think it's also throw involved on active. So you can crush throws with a huge counter hit if your timing is good. But again, your timing has to be good. So yeah, meaty 2H, really good option actually. And even if they block it, you're 0, so you can like try to mash your way through with 5k. Super honest. Meat 2D also not bad, especially if you get run momentum. I wouldn't use it as much though. I'm down. 2D is generally kind of it's good because I mean obviously it's plus on charge cancel, but it does put you at those like awkward ranges I mentioned where you have to like try to like fight your way back in or like reset with the jump or like I don't know, do Bandit Revolver or Prototype. Something like that. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention earlier is if you like dash jump, it's best practice to FD because as you can see, FD here shrinks your hurt box, same as JP. So you can go over more pokes than if you did not do FD. This is also really good for defensive applications where you jump and FD. This will avoid more like attempts to like hit you out of your jump out. It'll still lose to like big vertical things like 5H, but it'll beat most other things.
So in ADs, I always want to see an FD flash. Yeah, train it.
Yeah. You don't have to do it all the time, especially against people who have sloppy offense. But especially because FDing does like kill your meter gain for like 1 second. But it's a good thing to keep in mind for people who are actually like a little more airtight. Oh yeah, also important to note that you can Gatling into 2H off of pretty much all your normals and force a mix up on them this way. Of course, they can try to disrespect them, and you can frame trap with like 5H or something. Or like even Rocket. Oh yeah, Rocket's also pretty good frame trap. Off of like medium level normals. And it ground slides on counter hit too. So you can charge up and then get another turn.
You don't run after the ground slide outside the corner.
You do have to run in, so you won't get as much charge. Yeah. I think here you just don't get charged, you just go for the OP. In the corner you can get charged and then go for OP. It's not really that much charge there. But you can AC and get charge in the corner, and then do a melee. Okay. Yeah, honestly, those options are pretty reliable. 6k, Rocket, 2H, and then just like meaty 2P or 2k. One thing is that you like if you knock them down, like you can try to gimmick them with Gunblaze, but you have to know that if it hits meaty, they get cross-up protection. So you have to like wait slightly, which is why you do this Gunblaze setup, right? Because it automatically times it so that it won't hit meaty and will hit cross-up. But you can gimmick people with Gunblaze even if you don't have this setup.
If they block that setup, are you plus?
You're +9, but the spacing is really uncomfortable. They can literally just back out for free, and it's kind of hard to do something about it. Like from here, if they backdash, they're pretty much out for free. If they challenge or jump out, then you can try to pursue. But like I don't like the odds. It's pretty much just for if people won't block it. Reversal action. Yeah, there we go. Backdash. You have to like hard commit to catch them. And even then you use it wrong. Very uncomfortable.
Oh wow, you can't even catch them with Fafnir.
Yeah. It's +9, so a perfect backdash barely beats Fafnir, but if their backdashes are imperfect, you can still try to catch them. I mean, again, though, this is the recording doing perfectly timed backdashes, which
Right, frame perfect.
I think it's 2 frames, not frame perfect, because you get reversal buffer, but it's a small reversal buffer. I think that's pretty much it for Oki. Unless there's something I'm missing. Oh yeah, safe jumps. You get a safe jump off throw. It's kind of hard to time correctly because you have to dash like super far, and there's not really a setup to auto time it. And you can catch backdash by buffering after JH. Of course, buffering 5k might just lose to DP, but it depends on your timing. You also get safe jumps off of BHB if you're not in the corner. I mean, because if you're in the corner, you just get a clunk though. But again, it's like kind of hard to time properly. Let's have you not backdash so I can see if it actually connected.
Backdash seems making me see backdash in a new light.
What? I didn't catch that. You're a bit quiet, actually.
You're making me see backdash in a new light.
Backdash is good.
Yeah.
That probably wasn't a safe jump, but as you can see, it's kind of difficult to time properly. There's actually just no setup to time that correctly. You just have to do it. So it might not be the preferable option. Like you could just charge off throw instead of trying to go for this sort of uncomfortable safe jump. Or you can just go for like 6k meaty. Here it's like kind of difficult to like space yourself out of throw range. You have to like FD brick pretty precise. Okay, like that's actually not too bad, but I don't know. I think here, since the distance is so far, going for charge is fine as well. Although now that I think about it, that's kind of a lot of ground to give up. Maybe it's better to just go for pressure after all.
Yeah, just get in, since you put him in the corner anyway.
Yeah. Okay, I guess we can do VOD review now, unless you have any questions.
Oh wow. I think that pretty much covered everything I was interested in.
Okay, cool. Good to know it was at least a little helpful. Where is it?
I learned don't mash active charge after everything.
Yeah, it's kind of not good. Action charge is definitely super useful too, and the faster you can master the AC over C, the better. Because you pretty much get free charge on top of plus frames.
So, Fafnir, you're like in distance somewhere in the meter, but if you have meter, are you just like trying to go for active charge FRC on everything?
Not in everything. Like I said, once you learn the recharge combos where you do the Gunblaze loop, there's like a sweet spot of charge that's like slightly over 40% of level 2.
As soon as you're there, you don't care about anything else because you're just trying to get a clean hit to do the recharge.
Yeah, you're just trying to get a clean hit to do that loop.
I see.
Yeah, if you're just trying to get to level 2, like even if you don't get up to 40%, you can still like try to get a dust loop or like a 2D starter. You can like either go for dust loop off of some other starter into BHB, or you can do 2D starter into the Gunblaze loop. Since the 2D pops them up, you get like just enough time to action charge after the first BHB, which isn't possible off of other starters.
See?
But it is kind of specific, so I would like prioritize like getting to level 2 and then cashing out in the corner. Or like using level 2 to like whiff punish with rocket. That's also a good way to get in. Since HOS is pretty bad at whiff punishing at level 1. Like your best option for whiff punishing at level 1 is maybe like Fafnir, and that's if you have the meter. So definitely don't underestimate the power of like whiff punish rocket 1 or rocket 2. Okay, where is it?
Did you get a combo from rocket level 2, or you just...
No, you just get the knockdown, and then you do the action charge, and then you go for pressure.
So the level 2 rocket action charge it still makes you plus enough that you can do pressure.
It makes you plus on hit, yeah.
Yeah. Alright.
Okay, let's go check out this replay. Oh! I'm not sure if I'm a huge fan of that. I know Sajam did like an entire video where he talked about this approach being really predictable. Yeah, I don't like this commitment.
The jump back air dash?
Yeah.
You did it again?
Or no, he didn't do it again. That I just like rewinded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. Now this is a bit awkward. Oh, I don't like that move. It's just really awkward to play around because no other character has like a normal like that. Okay, DP is baited. Yeah, I don't like doing DP at the spacing. You'd much rather do it if they're like right in your face, but here it's just too liable to like whiff. Okay, burst. I don't know what the fuck is going on here. I don't know why he did this weird jump setup, but whatever. It's not a huge deal, I think. Like that's something I might have done if I was like really feeling scrambly, or like I just didn't know what to do. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, honestly, taking that dead angle is no problem. Like, forcing 50 meter out of them in that situation is perfectly fine. Okay. DP beats the super. Okay. Ah, he did it again! He did the exact same thing again. Okay, no combo. Yeah, that's awkward. That's just awkward. Yeah, you have to be careful about doing that if the wall is in reach of the BHB. Because if you like try to chase afterwards, like it's really tempting to chase here, because you don't want to give them room to breathe. But also, like they have just enough room to breathe here where they can like easily choke you. Like that's just so awkward. Oh no, I think the best approach would be to like dash a little and then maintain a range where it's like awkward to tech forward. But that's kind of like a little esoteric. That situation is just awkward.
He just ended up crossing them up before they got up or something like that?
No, I think they did. I think what he did was he jaced like a little too early, and it whiffed through their tech. I wish I could rewind faster than this, but I can't. Yeah. Okay, so he just jaced like actually way too early, and it just totally whiffs, and then he gets thrown on landing. Okay, this is good. Yeah, you don't respect the note there. That's just fucking weird. I don't know what the fuck is going on here. Like, wait, I can turn on inputs and see what he pushed. JH? Word? Yeah, I don't agree with this decision. I would have just like super jumps and like box dashed out. Cause even like there's nothing to challenge here, right? Like if you would push the JH if the Eno like dashes in, and then you want to challenge that. But there's like nothing to challenge here, so it's not worth pushing. So you get knocked down by a counter hit JD, and then you get overdone by JD. This should be big damage. Should be being the operative word. Okay. Conversion. This is okay. Okay, that's a good conversion. It was black beat, but it's a little awkward at that height, so that's fine. Okay, lock him down until he gets to ground. Okay, that's fine. I think that Eno gave up some crucial situations there. They just didn't have the finesse to like actually kill Deep Blizzard for his mistakes, so he got a chance to run with it, and he actually did. Yeah, I don't agree with this neutral approach though. I think that's like the biggest point of criticism here. He's done the same neutral approach like 3 times, and he's an rejection. But I guess that Eno didn't do anything about it. Oh my god. Okay, so I don't know. Gunblaze is really good in this matchup, right? But I think doing it like this is super awkward.
Yeah, for level 1, it's really hard to place it.
Yeah, the thing is, you can't do it as they're like backing off, right? Because the pillar ends up behind you, and then you're putting yourself into their range. You have to do it as they're coming towards you, so you like switch sides. I mean, admittedly, I would also probably do something like this if I was panicked. But it doesn't make it a good decision. It just makes it a decision that a mediocre player would do if he was panicked. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this, but yeah, 2S 6H is really good. It frames traps after 2S. Same with 4S 6H. And if it counter hits the 6H connects, it does a ton of stun. So even though the range isn't, like, it leaves you in an awkward range, and it's not like it's a knockdown, but it's still a good hit to get. Especially because otherwise you don't get any reward off of far slash, unless you had a really specific spacing where you can do like far slash 5H into IED loops. But I wouldn't expect a new player to learn that. Okay, the Eno does something again. I don't know, I think this Rocket 2 is actually fine. Yeah, that's just an awkward range.
Slow reaction.
Okay, we charge here. Okay, yeah, that's perfectly fine by me. I really think the neutral is the biggest struggle here, because like we can tally up the neutral decisions. Okay, this is the first neutral decision. It's bad. Fighting from in the corner. Oh, this is awkward. Okay, let's check his inputs. What did he do here? Okay, so he matches tech out. And then that's probably like a remnant tech input. I'm not sure if he actually meant to do that to us. Kind of frozen here. I don't know why he mashes.
Yeah, what's he mashing? To get up?
2S. I mean, I think he assumed that the Eno would have to like walk far up to get 2K, but that wasn't the case. So it's not like a bad decision if you're uninformed. Yeah, this is awkward. I don't like those whiffs. If you're in a range where like shit will whiff, either you like pick far S or you just like get out and try to reposition. But the Eno doesn't do jack shit about it, so it ends up being fine. But I still don't agree with it. I don't know, maybe I'm a chicken for like backing out a lot of the time, but I think like whiffing and then like continuing to try is like really awkward. Yeah, and then he does it again. What does he do here? 5H? Let's check the spacing on that to see if it was actually a good decision. I mean, obviously, I think at the end of this interaction... Oh, that's way too late. That's way too late. Yeah, you can't do it like that. I don't know. If the Eno just, like, hit a button, you just lose here. But they did die, and so now you're fine. This James is too greedy. I assume he was trying for an air throw. Okay, well, I don't know. That's my assumption. But JK is probably the best option here since they're just too high. Or just like reposition and like try to fight the incoming air movement. I don't even know what the Eno did here. I don't know why they went 5K. That's just weird. Yeah, this is bad. But it's okay. It's one of those awkward situations that I would never expect a beginner to understand. Because honestly, I don't fully understand what you would do here. Other than just like not doing the BHB2 in the first place. Yeah, I would stand like right where he's standing right now. I would just stop right here. And like try to like either trap the tech out or just like play from this range. But of course, if I was feeling panicked, I would do the same thing he did. This game is really easy to get panicky in, I think. Just because it's like, there are so many options to be able to TIA at any time, and it's the sort of game where you're sort of like forced to like do something, right? It's very hard to like justify just waiting and doing nothing. In most cases.
This is a blocking is losing type game.
I mean, obviously it's not that cut and dry, and there are definitely a lot of cases where waiting and doing nothing is the best thing. Also, Kickboss is mashing like crazy, which is really funny to me. Yeah, honestly, I don't think either player is playing this matchup very correctly. What the fuck? What? Okay, I mean, it's a worthy try. It's very greedy, but it's a worthy try. Yeah, I think Deep Blizzard's movement like looks very awkward. I think that's like the biggest issue here. Like you can see him like whiffing 2S a lot, and like he's kind of just like standing there and hitting it, and you can't really do that. You have to be a little more dynamic, or otherwise you'll just lose in range wars. Ito's
micro dash a lot with this character.
Yeah, either that or just like move out of range and try again. I'm not sure if this is really the best approach, but like if I like whiff or end up in upper range, usually I like to like air backdash and like try again. Because your forward run and your run jump are just so good that you can like try to like reposition yourself to use these tools again. Micro-walking admittedly is not as effective because I mean other characters will just outrange you, and you don't really want to deal with that. So like covering big swaths of movement at a time is like generally a good way to do things. But even if you're at awkward ranges, you can still try to force RPS by jumping. That's the thing about HOS, is that almost always you can like try to force some RPS by jumping, unless the character's anti-airs are just insane, like Faust or Axel. That's why those two matchups are bad. Like the anti-airs are just way too good. Although it's not just that the anti-airs are good, but like the pokes are also good. So if the pokes and anti-airs are both really good, then the matchup becomes bad. So like the prime examples are like Faust, Axel, Slayer, Johnny, because you just get dumpstered by the ground pokes and their anti-airs. It has to be both.
Are there matchups that Order Soul is particularly good at?
I think like Millie is one example, right? Because you can wall out most of her air approaches with like JP. And like she's better ground pokes than you, but it's like not a big deal because you can pretty much just fight her in the air. And of course you like kill her in 2 hits. Like she just can't make any mistakes. Obviously you can't really make that many mistakes either, because if you do, you just get blended to death. But I think the matchup is like slightly winning for HOS. I don't know, I don't think HOS has that many like critical winning matchups. Some people say like Chip is winning just because like again you kill him in 2 hits and like. But I think it's kind of awkward to fight that character for me, so I can't say I'd make the same judgment. It's like maybe even. He beats Robo, but that's not hard. Did you say something?
He's mostly okay matchups.
Yeah, he's actually has decent matchups against all the top tiers. I'd say maybe the worst top tier matchup is like his. I don't know. His worst top tier matchups are like Dizzy, Faust, but like his matchup with Testament and Biken in particular are actually like okay, which is I think one of the probably the best parts about this character. You don't get totally stonewalled by the top tiers, but you do get stonewalled by some like high tier and mid tier characters. But like, of course, it's not so horrible that you can't win. Where are the others? How many more do I have? It's the ones with Pop and Goot. I don't know where those are though. Oh. Is this it? This is it. Yeah, Pulsar's replay system is a little weird.
Heaven or hell? 2-1, rock.
He did it again! He does it so much! Okay, that's just a fucking weird interaction, or whatever.
I think that everyone's ready for it.
Did you say something?
It's funny that everyone is ready for it.
Yeah. Okay, that's just not really how you convert that, but... I mean, you either have to wait a lot, or just do CH5H, but whatever. The idea is correct. Pop spent all his air options, so he really has no other option than to block the gun blaze, but he just, like, gets hit. What? I can't believe that. Okay. Oh my fucking god. Are you serious? Wait, Pop, I thought you were better than this. How do you screw that conversion up? Okay, whatever. That's too greedy, but whatever. I'm not here to judge Pop. I'm here to judge Blizz. Okay, nice jump out. Nice whip punish. Yeah, I think whenever Blizz like is reacting to something, it's usually what the fuck? Okay, whatever. We'll just ignore that.
He snashed you with it.
I think whenever he's like reacting to something, it's fine, but whenever he has to try to take initiative, it's really awkward. Okay, that's just kind of awkward because Pop whiffed, but... he did it again. This time Pop probably like whiffed something if it wasn't ready. I didn't see what actually happened here. Yeah, he whiffed and then he wasn't ready. So like doing that stuff is sort of okay. Doing weird committal stuff is okay if you like if the other person is whiffing, so you have time to like do something. But like in the case with the Eno earlier where they were just doing nothing, it's like really bad. You're just kind of hanging yourself. What the fuck? Yo, in what universe does this actually work? Like, what would you have to try for this to work? Like, what would you reasonably try here that makes a second Fafnir connect? I guess, like, Grand Viper is the only thing I can think of. Okay, yeah, he's too dependent on that, that BRP counter hitting. It's happened once or twice, so I can't exactly fault him for it too much. Yeah, okay, he gets thrown here. Mashing tech, fucking mashing tech again. Kinda cringe, TBH. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. What? 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 Okay, fucking whatever.
Slop it up.
Slop it up. Yeah, okay. I don't like this from him. This is really weird. He does this movement a lot, and I didn't see it a lot in the Eno match, but I saw it a lot in the first match. And I thought it was kind of just like a lucky fluke, where like he just did this a few times because he didn't know what to do. But it seems he's doing this a lot, and I don't like this. It's too committal to be all the way up here, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Like, you're
agree.
just-
I think he's using his air actions too often.
Too early. I think here the best the best try is just do nothing and let land after the back jump, because it's kind of clear here that Pop isn't really committing to anything either. So I think you just do nothing. Oh, and then he hits a button after he whiffs. I don't like that, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Wait, how did he land that hit? He did it again. I think it's also fine in this case because Pop whiffed something again. So I'm not gonna fault with that. Okay, that's just fucking weird. I've like never seen that interaction happen before. But I think that's Pop's screw up this time. Okay, that's I feel like that's very clearly an air throw attempt, but what? He did nothing? I don't know what he was trying there. It feels like he like realized that he would get wake up thrown. Oh, he tried to walk back out, and then he got thrown. Okay, makes sense. I can't really fault him for that. Sometimes you just like forget what you're supposed to do in the heat of the moment. Okay, this is a big conversion. I don't even know why he got counter hit here. Why did he push? Ah! Okay, yeah, he has this problem a lot, where he like... I talked about it in the match with Ian. I don't actually know if you're tuning in for this 3K, but like I talked about where his movement is kind of stiff, right? So if he ends up in a range that like is sort of uncomfortable for HOS to play in, he'll just like sort of freeze up and like hit a bunch of 2S's.
I see. Yeah, I got hit a little bit recently. But yeah, I've been watching it, but yeah, I think the big thing I've noticed is that he's overcommitting in his movement a lot, where he's using his air actions too often. Yeah. Where yeah, I agree with you. He should just like jump back, land, or just like neutral jump and see what they do.
I think he's also not abusing HOS's really good forward run enough. Or like dash jump as well. He's like air dashing and double jumping a bit too much.
Yeah, I think he's also I know like he's talked about it before, I think in the Berkeley server, I was just like lurking there. But he kind of corners himself more often than not, it feels like. He's like doing a lot of backwards movement and not really approaching like you said sometimes.
Yeah. I think, I don't know, I have this issue where I sometimes like corner myself in gun waves because I'm getting greedy, but like it's more like he's just like playing a bit too passively maybe. I also think he does rocket a bit too much. I think, honestly, liberally using level 2 I think is actually fine by me. Just because a lot of people don't really expect to see HOS doing like burst movement with like active frames. So it'll catch a lot of people off guard. And if it hits, you get like a knockdown into recharge and you're like perfectly fine. But he does rocket level 1 a lot at like completely inexplicable ranges.
Oh. Yeah, I was gonna say too that I noticed a lot of the time he doesn't have any charge, or he kind of just uses it too early without having a chance to get it back.
Yeah, there is use for doing rocket level 1, like specifically if you want to like put out something active to stuff certain moves. Like I'll do it sometimes against Slayer, because I don't know, he's just like doing like dick dumb shit and like just fucking backdashing all over the place. And sometimes you just need to put something active out there to like stuff whatever they're doing. So rocket level 1 can serve for that purpose whenever you need something super active. But the ranges he's doing at is really awkward. And also it looks like he doesn't know what to do about wake up throw. I should probably be writing these down. Stiff movement, toque, middle, with air, fuck. Actions. And then as a side note, it's like, lots of jump back, air dash. Okay, this kind of awkward. Also jump back, air dash. This is too predictable. And burning double jumps at weird times. Not enough forward, run, or dash jump. Stiff ground movement. Lots of awkward with 2S. Questionable decision. I think the neutrals.
I would say I can definitely see with the double jumps. He's probably trying to bait Fafnir or Vortex or something.
Yeah, no, but in this case, he's doing it at like some awkward ranges where you really don't need to try to bait anything. Like, it would make sense if he was like double jumping right above their head to try to like bait like an entire 6P. But he's jumping at like half screen away, which really doesn't make any sense. Also, I think a little over reliant on BRP1, but you're getting away with it, so whatever. Doesn't really poor at handling wake up throw. And also I feel like he enters weird scrambles a lot. This is really vague, but I can point out examples if needed. Okay. I mean, that's the best. Sadly, that's one of the best punishes HOS will get it at range, anyways. What range was this at? Oh, you could have gone for 2D or he could have gone for 2D and gotten knocked down. Okay, I think that double jump in that case is fine because that's the range where it might actually bait some anti-air. Here, it actually does bait an anti-air, and it's at the range where it's fine. But I don't know. It's getting to be a bit samey. Okay, I don't really know what the fuck is happening here. I need to check his inputs. Okay, locks it. I assume that's a throw attempt, and Pop jumps to try and does a throw attempt. So it's a passable try on both players' sides. And then I guess he just gets hit, not blocking tile. Beats me what he was trying to stand block, but it's not like a super huge deal. Like, it's not completely unreasonable. Okay, this is actually fine. Like, he at least tries to go for the dash jump. Okay. Fucking lol. Oh yeah. Gunblaze at some inopportune ranges. This isn't really as big of a problem because it doesn't happen as much. But it does happen enough. Okay, that's like an actual good range to Gunblaze. Like where they're right on top of your head and coming towards you. Would I have Gunblaze here? No, probably not. I don't know, but I might have if I felt like it. Oh my fucking god. I think he... Really? How did that not safe jump an 11 frame DP? That's insane. Probably pushed 5H. I don't really care about that too much. He did it again. I don't know what the fuck that was supposed to be. If that was actually supposed to be Rocket, that's like the worst Rocket I've like seen in a while. But you know, whatever. I'm saying, like, okay, whatever, for a lot of these interactions, just because I think, like, I mean, Plus Art is a hard game, and there are a lot of situations and a lot of variables that you have to get adjusted to. So I think when it comes to improving on new players, you just focus on, like, their super crucial weaknesses, like their Achilles heel. I mean, it's not really an Achilles heel because they're vulnerable everywhere else. But I think it's just better to focus on, like, a few things that they could improve on. This is probably true for every game, but I think it's especially true for Plus R. Okay. Well, that's fine.
I never realized why does Paul do so much damage?
That's like his entire fucking thing.
He just kills you in 2 good hits.
Yeah, yeah. That's literally it. That's his entire.
Okay, so that's why people consider him good, just because of his risk reward.
Yeah. It's literally his gimmick is that he has stupid moves and then he kills you in 2 hits if they're good. If they're good 2 hits.
Yeah.
That's a good gimmick. Alright, job, thanks. I'm gonna take off.
Alright. We've got one more match if you want to stick around for that, but you can also leave. It doesn't really matter. This will be recorded anyways.
I gotta run off, but I'll check on stream later.
Alright. Well, I think I'll pretty much wrap up after this is done. So you won't miss too much.
Later.
DB Blizzard says he can't hear what's happening, but he likes the notes in the Twitch chat.
Okay, that's good. That's good. No, Cyano said the sound mixing earlier was fine, but maybe he was listening to the VC and not the stream.
Let me turn the stream real quick.
Bro, if the stream has poor audio this whole time,
I can hear it. Let me deafen real quick, and I'll be back in like 10 seconds.
Okay. I'm just gonna keep talking. So, let's go. I feel like if the sound mixing was bad, I would have heard about it way earlier, but maybe I just wasn't reading the chat.
Yeah, the stream audio is fine. I just listened to it and I
Okay. So it's probably just he's like he's tuning in from where in a place. I don't know, like maybe he's at work or something.
Like didn't talk to something. I could hear it perfectly fine.
Yeah. So he's probably just unable to listen to the stream for external reasons. So we can just keep going. As long as the recording ends up fine, then I don't care a whole lot. I also was not paying that much attention. What's happening here? Okay, I like this decision. I like the decision to just back off. Since HOS's movement can like cover wide ranges really quickly, I think it's not a bad idea to just back off and like give your opponent a chance to like show you what you're gonna do. Okay, yeah, that's good. I like that. That's a good decision. You know, just wait till they whiff something, and then you use your chance to go in. And you'll probably beat them because they, like, you know, end up whiffing with the air dash DH. Convert here, you know, it's not perfect, but super jump ID is hard. So I can't fault you for that. This is a bit weird. I don't know what's happening. I admittedly don't know what's supposed to be happening here. Like, why he just did the close slash with nothing else. It wasn't even like a throw OS that he didn't buff or anything after, because it's just the slash. It wasn't a faultless defense either, so I guess I think he was probably expecting the bar slash. That's my only guess. Okay, that's actually a good answer. It happens. Yeah. He DPs a lot. But we've already talked about that, I think. Oh, you could convert off that with BRP too, but I can't fault you for that. That's kind of stupid. Cause like, if it doesn't work out, you just put yourself in the corner.
Yeah. And that's something also I see a lot of players do I don't like in just various games. It's like, yeah, you can hit them, but like also, like it's okay because he doesn't have burst. But yeah, if they block it, you just cornered yourself, and yeah, you have burst, but then you're wasting the resources.
I think actually, in this case, it's fine because you have enough level 2 to gun blaze back out of the corner.
I see, yeah.
But instead of like wasting the corner position, you're wasting your meter. Which, you know, in some situations might be okay if you know that your opponent is antsy. But I'm not sure if he's played Pop enough to, like, have that data.
Yeah, I think they play pretty often because they go to the same school. That's
probably true. So this is probably just one of few replays. So I can't really judge that for myself. It might be okay. It's probably either way. It's probably not the hugest concern. We have bigger fish to fry. Okay, he tries to. Oh, that's a fucking horrible burst. Yeah, that's just awful.
Oh yeah,
but it happens in the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
And you just die for this. Oh.
Is there a drop?
Oh my god! Oh my god! Dude, how the fuck?
Okay, yeah, I'm a little delayed because
because you're watching on the screen.
That's funny.
Oh my fucking god! How do you?
All right.
Oh my god!
We take those. Look
at the way he wins this. He just like fucking Fafnir's the right. That's like the only thing Pop could have done that like loses there. That's like he found the worst possible move to do against Fafnir and he did it. But it.
Well, he could have. Yeah, he wouldn't have gotten.
I know. I think that's way too committal, right?
Yeah.
It's like if you just move out of the way, Grand Viper loses you again, or the round. But you know he has a huge burst advantage, so it might be fine to just get him.
Yeah, and like he still have plenty of meters, so he could have backed off and then just like gunpoint FRC to try to get in.
Okay, this is a good conversion, or it would have been if he like got the clean hit, but that's fine. I can't judge that too much because like converting's hard. Oh, okay. Well, sure, whatever. I'm not a huge fan of hero bursts. But, it's Guilty Gear, so bursting liberally is fine, I think. As long as you don't, like, do a burst that's just, like, straight up bad, like, where it will, like, clearly whiff.
Yeah, I think he was bursting there, too, to try to keep corner positioning, because he also had a meter advantage.
That's true.
He wanted to just close up the round, but I think he could have afforded to go back to neutral, because he still would have been mid-screen with a meter advantage, and probably didn't have to use the burst. But
I was looking at the health bar switched.
Oh yeah, it looks like the player side switched.
Yeah. So I think this burst is good actually. Momentum bursting here is perfectly fine, especially since D-Blows doesn't have that much burst either.
Yeah.
That's fucking weird. I don't know why you would do that. Like literally, what option does this lose to? Like it loses to like I guess if you mash like a crouching button, but like you could just frame trap that with like less commitment with like 2S. Like it doesn't lose to any of the things, or it doesn't beat any of the things that like 2S would lose to. Like I don't know, DP. Oh, or like riot stamp. You actually like die if he riot stamps here. You actually die a miserable death if you riot stamps this.
Bro, yeah, the meter. Bro.
Like,
does he even need meter?
No, he just like kills without meter.
What a character.
Oh, it actually smokes Riot Stamp. I'm kind of surprised. I thought it would be too low. No, never mind. You just fucked out here. Yes, it's kind of tight though. No, never mind. You're too far to kill him. If Riot Stamp counter hits mid-screen, they die, but like if it's cornered like this, they usually don't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't agree with that decision, but whatever. I can't like know what he was thinking when he did that. Like maybe in some like fringe case, it like actually hard calls out some option that I didn't think of. But no, I think it's kind of okay. That's definitely dubious. I don't like that. Like the first pillar whiffs here due to the spacing.
Yeah.
It's actually. I think it's actually. Wait, how much meter did he have?
He had like 20%. It looks like.
No, I'm talking about the charge meter. I think he had enough to do another gun blaze. But the spacing is bad, so. Oh my fucking god! How did you drop that?
Why? Oh. Yeah.
Yo, how did you fucking drop that? It's okay. It's plus R. Mistakes happen.
No buffer moment.
Okay, this should be a decent conversion. Yeah. Just get knocked down here. Yeah, that's good, that's good. What? How does this safe jump not work? I think it just whiffs. Yeah, it's too early. Why isn't he blocking? What did he input?
Looks like he was just holding forward.
No, the inputs say he's, like, right here, the inputs say he's... Oh, he held forward.
Yeah, he held forward for a frame, it looks like.
No. He hit back, and then he went to neutral to try to go forward.
I see.
Okay, yeah, because he assumed the safe jump would hit. Okay. No, I think, Deep Blizzard, I think he, like, specifically walked forward to try to, like, weather or something.
Yeah, you hard called him out there, just crazy. Yeah, you got that dog and
Wouldn't have worked if the safe jump was real, though.
It's okay. That's the fighting game player classic.
Sure. Just hope they fuck up the safe jump. You did it here again. Admittedly, at this spacing, it might beat something, but like, you have to do JS here because you cross up here for sure. But of course, the temptation of pushing JS is just too high, so I understand. Oh, how did you drop that? Come on, Pop. It's fine. Okay. What? What is this gunblade supposed to call out? Like, what is this supposed to accomplish?
I guess if he dashes in, he could cross him up, but yeah, none of the hitboxes hit.
This is just too committal.
Does he have... well, he has 100 meter. I guess he could have FRC'd it or something, but yeah.
No, you have to... Or actually, you can FRC the gunblade straight, but it's like a 2-frame window. And even if you do FRC, you end up right next to them, which is uncomfortable.
I gotcha. Okay.
It's fine, though.
But...
I swear that just like had barely enough on tech to combo.
Yeah, no, I thought that was gonna drop.
Same.
I was like, oh, he looks pretty high up. I don't know if this will connect.
It's less about the height and more about the on tech time. But I guess the combo is just short enough for it to work. Yeah. Overall, the biggest takeaway. I'm sure you can read these on these notes on the stream, but I think the biggest takeaway is these top 4. I think the bottom ones are like more situational. It's like a plus R thing where it's like if you get away with it, it's fine to keep doing it until you get blown up for it. But these top five bits are like they'll leak everywhere into your gameplay, and so you have to kind of address them. Or these top 4, you have to address them right away.
Yeah, I think also just if you work on that too, that won't only help you improve at plus R, but like almost
pretty much every game. Yeah,
every anime fighter, because they all share a lot of concepts with the same.
Yeah, these like bottom concepts are like not as important to improve on just because they're more situational. Maybe like the 5th one, being over reliant on BRP and pressure, like is sort of in the middle ground because good pressure, like, okay, when I was playing like MBAC and like mixing between MBAC and plus R, I think that actually did help my pressure a little bit because like, like you have to sort of, or with Nania and like HOS, you sort of have to play a similar game where you like have to be very aware of like the spacing. And you also have to be aware of how you can like frame trap the other guy at any given moment. because every button is a decision with those characters. The entire point is that you just like force like RPS decisions on your opponent constantly with these pressure normals that are like really awkward to respond to. Yeah, but these bottom actually the weird scrambles part. I mean, admittedly, that's also like a bit less game specific. But I mean, I think plus Rs you have to enter scrambles a lot more often just because of the nature of the game.
How is and then is Order Soul particularly strong at scrambles, or I would imagine he is, but
I think it's like contextually sensitive.
I see. So like versus like Soul, would Order Soul want to scramble versus him? Probably not, right? Because if he loses the scramble,
Yeah, if you like, it depends on like what you get hit by. But if you lose the scramble, it's like a bit risky. And he is the better DP by like a mile. And like,
gotcha, yeah.
if you get counter hit by like the tip of the DP, this is like kind of fringe because usually you won't scramble from that range. But if you get counter hit by like the tip of ground DP, then you will also die, which is really funny. And it's one of my favorite conversions.
Of course, I love this game.
Yeah, scrambling against Soul probably not the best choice. You pretty much just have to win it clean.
All right, I guess I'll ask DB Blizzard if he's still here. Do you have any other questions for Jub or Lord Jub, or do you think these notes are a good starting point for you to improve your house?
Improve the game. The house bouse. Are we good? Fantastic. It's time for me to get lunch. Okay, I guess we can wrap up here then. Alright, thanks.
I watched the Eno one. I was like listening to it briefly, but yeah, there was a lot that Zeniroku talked about. It went on for a good at least also like 3 hours or something.
I think you might be referring to the game we played against Eno, which I did cover.
Oh, I see though. I'm
not sure if you were in BC for that, but I did.
I was not at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just watched the 3 Soul ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it'll be all there in the recording. Unfortunately, this spanned a little over 2 hours, so I can't get it into a single Twitch highlight, which is kind of annoying. But I can just put it on YouTube. Yeah.
Let's go, Jub.
Let's go, Jub. I'm glad that was useful because I don't know, long form guides are really hard because I feel like, especially if they're impromptu, because you just like end up rambling and then you get on tangents.
Yeah.
And then people complain at you because like you structure your guide and you're like, oh, what is this? Why do I go to slog through all this like completely irrelevant shit to get to what I want? But it's like it was pretty good for what it was.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I think that's it then. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Case closed. That's not the way to end this, but whatever. Peace out, everyone.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. And then D Blizzard just said, let him know when the VOD gets uploaded so he can
okay,
watch it later. Hopefully
YouTube doesn't like get slow on me. Hopefully I'll have it up by the end of today. All right. I'm logging off. Peace.